Welcome everybody to another episode of Speak Live. Thank you to all of you who are live right now, those of you that's going to jump on and catch us, and then those of you who are going to catch us on the replay tonight, tomorrow, next week, the years to come, the months to come. God bless you guys. My name is Simone, the student teacher. Educators and leaders tell their stories unapologetically through written and verbal communication. You're looking for a speaker, an author, or a publisher, you can reach out to me. And so I'm excited tonight again. It's like God has revived and blew on me to bring Speak Life back better, with some amazing people. Some you may have seen in times past, and then some people, they're going to be new. And so for those of you who don't know how Speak Life first started, I am originally from North Carolina, but now live in Maryland. And I moved here 7 years ago. And I remember my second year being here, I finally decided to get a Maryland license. And so I went to the DMV. It's called MTA, the Motor Transportation Administration. Oh, MVA, Motor Vehicles Administration or something like that. So I went there that day, and I mean, it's like a huge place. And I'm sitting down there, and in my phone, the Lord downloads to me, I want you to start a segment on your Facebook page called Speak Life. And these are the people I want you to ask. And these are the questions you're going to put on the form for them to fill out. And initially it was people who knew Simone. Not anything I had did with speaking and publishing. It was my aunts, it was my family, it was friends, it was my one of my mentors when I was living in Charlotte. People who really could attest to the woman that I was becoming and who I used to be. And so we did that for like a year strong. And I mean, it was just growing and growing and growing and growing. And then I started bridging out, bringing on authors and speakers, people I met in business online, people that I had met in ministry, and it just grew and grew and grew. And then I took a little break. And then we went into praying full time for the academic system every morning before I would go to work. And that grew and grew and grew and grew. And so then I kind of took another break and did some other endeavors. But the Lord is bringing this back the same way it initially started. People who know Simone, not people who just know me from working with me or partnering with me, but actually has got a chance to know me. And so I'm excited because this woman uh that I'm bringing on tonight with me is somebody truly who God has just used uniquely in my life in this season. And hopefully I don't get emotional tonight, but if I do, it's gonna be okay because she done seen me cry many, many times. So share this with your friends, share this out on your social media pages. Some of you who don't know, I don't have social media anymore. I kept up my YouTube channel. So if you don't see me up here, that's why. A lot of times people say you don't have to make announcements when you go off, but I realized that I probably should have, because I've got several messages from people, men and women alike, like, "Hey, I tried to find you and I couldn't." I just got a message last night from a young man. Well, he's not a young man. Mr. Nick is older than me, but he's still a young man. It was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be in Baltimore speaking. I was trying to tag you on Facebook. Are you still on Facebook?" And I was like, "No, Mr. Nick." So if any of you see me, a lot of people assume you just go block and delete people, but that's not it. So share this out on your page. I know Mavis is gonna share this out. But I just want to give you guys a little background of how this all started, because a lot of times we can do good deeds, we can do good things, we can have a mind to do good endeavors. But if it ain't God backing it up, I believe sometimes we just kind of just beating ourselves in the wind, like wasting time doing all other things. I believe in the word of the Lord that says what you do for the Lord is what's going to last, right? My spiritual mother told me this one time. She said, "Simone, any gifts that you have that you can't take to heaven, you got the wrong giver." And I said, oh, okay. So any gifts we have, anything that we doing, if we can't take it up there to the creator, we probably got the wrong giver. And so I'm excited tonight to introduce Mavis to some of you beautiful people. This show tonight is sponsored by Exalted. So for those of you who have not heard my prayer single, I released it February the 1st, 2020. too. And so if you have not heard it, go and download it. It's available on all streaming platforms. So I'm going to play this really quick, and then I'm going to introduce Mavis, and we're going to bring out the star of the show tonight. So take a look at Exalted. This is the sponsorship for tonight show of Speak Life with the one and only Mavis A. Creagh. And if you want to be a sponsor, you want to advertise, or you want to be a guest up here, just reach out to me and I'll post all of that a little later. But take a sneak peek of Exalted if you haven't heard it, and then I'll be right back. But I think that you are the Father, you are the God, the Most High God. Listen to my prayers. You listen to the prayers of the destitute. You listen to the people, and you don't reject our pleas in the name of Jesus. You're the God who bends your ear down low to hear our prayers, and I exalt you today, oh God. You said you exalt your word above your name. Father, we give your word back to you today. Psalms 103, 2 through 6 declares, bless the Lord, oh my soul, and forget not all of his benefits. Father, I bless your name today. I will not forget your benefits. Father, I thank you. You're the benefit of forgiving my iniquity. Father, I thank you. The benefit is that you heal our disease. Father, I thank you for the benefit that you redeem my life from destruction. Father, I thank you, oh God, that I will never forget your benefits. Father, I thank you. You're the one who crowned us with loving kindness. I thank you that you're the one who is tender with your mercy. I thank you, oh God, that we woke up today in new mercy. Thank you for your new mercy. Thank you for your new mercy that are new every day. Thank you for your new mercy. Thank you, oh God, that you're the one that sanctify us, that you're the one who satisfy our mouths with good things. Oh God, I thank you that our youth is renewed like the eagle today. Father, I thank you that the joy of the Lord is our strength. I thank you, oh Father, that we laid down last night and we woke up in peace. Hallelujah. We woke up in joy. I thank you that at the nighttime, oh God, you instruct our mind. Oh God, I thank you that we think on things that are lovely and pure and holy. In the name of Jesus, Father, I thank you. You are the Lord who executes righteousness. I thank you. You are the one who executes justice for everybody that's oppressed. Father, I thank you that you are compassionate and you are a merciful God. Father, I thank you. You're the God who's slow to get angry, and I thank you for being the same God who is long suffering. Father, I thank you for suffering long with me. Father, I thank you for suffering long with me. Father, I thank you for suffering long with me. Father, I thank you that you don't even give our sins what they deserve. Father, I thank you for another chance today. You are faithful God. You are loving God. You are mighty God. Oh God, I thank you that your throne is in heaven. Blessings and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving. Father, I thank you that honor and power and might be unto you today. Hey man, I was about to go all in that, but listen. This is the sponsor of tonight's show, the Exalted Prayer Single. So if you don't have it, go and download it, listen to it, sleep to it, because I promise you it will bless you. Like every time I listen to it, I'm always blessed. And of course, I'm the person who wrote it and is speaking it, but it's really a blessing, especially when you think about the benefits of God. There's so many benefits to God. And one of the benefits of God, I believe, is the benefit of relationships, the benefit of putting people in your life that will be a blessing, that will add value. And I know sometimes people say that, especially in the speaker world and the business world. And, it's easy to be trendy and say things that are trending, but I believe in being aligned with what God is saying and not necessarily trendy. But when he placed Mavis A. Creagh in my path, that was a benefit from God. And so I'm really, really excited. So I am going to share my screen really quick, because what I want you guys to do is I want you to go to this website, and I want you to subscribe or whatever else you need to do, because this is an amazing woman that I actually get to call a friend, a sister and a friend, like for real, for real. So this is Mavis's website. It's maviscreagh.com. Let me put this up here for all of you beautiful people, so you can go here right now and download it. Boom. right here, maviscareer.com. You see, this is her beautiful website right here. So you can scroll down and you can see all the wonderful things she do. And we're going to go boom about her. Now, I'm going to read this because this is her official bio. And I want to make sure I give her an amazing introduction for an amazing woman. And then as we start talking tonight, I'm gonna tell you what I know about her as just a woman, as a person who she's been to me. And so to know her is to really indeed love her. And one thing I love about Mavis is the fact that, you know, when you meet somebody online, you're not quite sure who you're gonna get offline. But I was pleasantly blessed and thrilled to have met her in person and love her more in person than just being online. And so it's not always that you meet people online and then they're the same person offline. And so I'm just excited. So let me give you the formal introduction. I'm gonna bring y'all out because I know a lot of you from the Pine Belt, y'all from Mississippi, you from the South, the Delta. Like, girl, stop talking and bring Mavis on. But she coming, she's here with me already. And so Mavis A. Creagh is a 6-time best-selling author. She's a speaker. She's a consultant. She's a woman's advocate and a bona fide entrepreneur guru. Mavis is one of the hardest working women I know, legit. Mavis works hard and she's dedicated, like legit. She currently serves as the executive director of RS3M Incorporated, which is Recover, Rebuild, and Restore the Southeast Mississippi. It's a nonprofit founded following Hurricane Katrina. And let me just tell you guys, she refers to it as the Blue House. And guess what? I've been to the Blue House, yo. And then she gave me a tour. And I was like, yo, when I told her, I was like, Mavis, like, this is a big deal what you do for real. So I know sometimes we see people online and they, you know, kind of post, but I don't even think she shares enough about how much of a big deal that really, really is. And so she has a top-notch expertise in grant securement, funds distribution, and program management. In addition, Mavis has extensive knowledge of recovery following natural disaster with a foundation in revitalization in communities and economic development. She also has a beautiful, beautiful son, teenage son, Jordan, adding to her strong portfolio of success. Writing is another thing that she has added. You know, I believe the Lord says, I'll make your mouth the pen of a ready writer. And she has indeed done that. So she has been a part of the bestsellers Trailblazers That Lead, Courageous Enough to Launch, Breathe Again, Women Sharing Their Stories of Restoration, Faith, and Hope, Finally Free, My Walk Past Hell. And she was one of the most instrumental authors of The Heart of a Leader that she did with me. And so I'm excited. So listen, you can go follow her on all our social media platforms. You see it right there. I want to welcome my amazing, beautiful sister, friend, missionary, all the way from Mississippi, Janice. Hey, Bass is. Let me get my sounding board out because Mavis needs a clap, applause. Bass is. Let me get. Okay, first of all, I gotta cut this second thing off. That's the first thing. Let's just do that. And then the second thing is let me get my clapper out. So I want to bring to the stage Miss Mavis A. Creagh. Yay! Mavis,
Yes,
how you doing?
I'm well. Thank you for having me. That was a wonderful introduction. Miss Simone Walden, the student. No, it's the student teacher. Thank you. It is an honor and a pleasure. Maryland meets Mississippi. And we can talk about that a little bit more. But I was grateful to meet you with the heart of a leader, and you did amazing, and you are very talented. So I'm very honored to be with you on tonight.
See when they stop blushing. Thank you, baby. It's like it's indeed a pleasure. I love what Jenny said. The sip in the house. The sip in the house. Janice, we definitely got to get you to come on with us one day too. So maybe I'm thankful that you're here. Like legit thankful that you're here. And so, um, I'll share with everybody how this Speak Life came to be. So those of you who are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel because this is why I do the live broadcast of Speak Life And then any other lives or teachings that I do. Mavis, you're the first to know. Well, I'm telling you, but everybody's watching. Janice, you're the first to know too. So I believe I've been approached about a TV show, like you know how they do the TV shows for a while, probably like 3 or 4 years. And we just kind of talk about it earlier. I was like, no, I don't think so. But um I did a speaking engagement not too long ago, and I just saw it last night, and I was like, "Oh, this good." And then I did something for around mothers for Mother's Day for my mom, and that comes out on Friday on one of my sisters' networks, and I was like, maybe I think I want to do this again. So there's possibility that I may be hosting my own show. And then the Speak Lives will be now posted there as well. So please stay tuned to the YouTube channel, or if you're not a part of my email list, sign up for the email list. That way you can stay in the know, because I didn't just stop communicating. I just ain't on social media right now. So maybe it's last week when I started back with the Speak Life, I had her name was Jatrice Simmons. So if you guys missed Jatrice's Speak Life last week, it was very good. She talked about sharing her story of from a mother's perspective. She launched um it's called Untroubled Mama. She has a baby mother and she has a baby father. And so she shared the dynamics of that and, abuse. And it was just really, really good. So please tune in to, if you didn't catch that replay, go and tune that. But after I got off with her last week, and that was my first time talking to, well, that was maybe like my second or third time. I met her through her mom. And that was her first time ever speaking publicly about anything that she's went through. And I'm always grateful that God will allow people to connect with me to share their stories. And then after that, maybe I called you and I was like, I really would like for you to come on Speak Life with me. And we started talking about relationships and how I met you online, and then how it's just cultivated offline. And you shared with me about the presentation you I did, which shows your flyer here, your bomb flyer here, which is brokering, bankering relationships. And so this, even though I can talk to Mavis, I can FaceTime Mavis, freely. She can do the same thing for me. It was a God thing for me to bring her here. Sometimes people want to bring people on. Mavis, you may have experiences. People kind of stick in their circles, right?
Yeah.
But I stick to the people that are in my circle. One thing God told me about ministry before, he says, when you do ministry, you don't invite your friends along. You invite the people that are called. And I've lost a lot of people along the way when I used to have live events a lot, where they want to be on the program and say, but that's not God. God didn't say that. If you want to come, please come. But if he didn't say to have you up to speak, don't have you up to speak. And so this wasn't a thing I just did because we talk all the time. This was something that God said, reach out to her. And so I know that it's going to go far and wide tonight and years to come. For those of you who are here, that you will be blessed by our transparency. You'll be blessed by how organically this thing just came. This wasn't you. Maybe I'm gonna let you talk, but it wasn't a thing where, and maybe you remember, I don't even know, you just start following me online, like, and I would come on late night and you would comment, and I was like, who's this?
Yeah, the missionary was praying. I said she's so young. You remind me of my best friend, Sweetie, and she was one of the youngest missionaries. And I said, she pray like Sweetie, like when somebody sold out, like, and ain't looking back. We halfway be lukewarm sometimes, but some folks. I'm just being honest. Baby, some folks just sold out and ready. I said, "Oh, Seminade." And I remember I would watch you, and I had went through some, trying situations in my life and was coming out of those. And I can remember watching you, because you'll say, "Well, I'm just gonna pray about 5 minutes," and then I figured out that 5 minutes turned to 50 minutes, and then you start prophesying and open the word, and you get one word, then you see somebody else on there, and you look at them in the spirit like this, and then you say, "Well, let me go to that other scripture." I said, "Oh, there she go. There go missionary Simmonite." But it was good. It was, sometimes it's good to see people through the eyes of God, and not, sometimes we look at people from positions and titles, and we forget that we all of us are just people at the end of the day. My feet hurt. I'm tired. I don't want to be bothered sometimes. I still got to work. I still got to juggle. And so it was good to see you in a different element, even though it's good that you are a prolific writer or a speaker. Your pen is always ready, the pen of a ready writer. But it's good to see people, you know, without all of the extra. Because sometimes when you're looking at people and you just see them, and you know how some people, especially in ministry, which I think is really funny, um, they get upset when people don't call them by them of all them titles, to the point I wonder, do I know if you're in a formal setting, and I get that because I do respect your position and where God has taken you, so I'm not, bashing that part of it. But to the point where before I speak the name that your mother gave you and that you were birthed into the world, you want people to um worship your title. And when it becomes to that level, is that really what God ordained? Or have you started worshiping the title instead of the guy who has given you the position?
When I go back and find some clips, that clip right there is gonna be Mavis. You know what I love about you too is, and I always say this to you, like we could just be talking and you could drop something that's so freaking bomb. I'd be like, oh my God, did you write that down? Or I write it down like, are you worshiping the title?
Are you
Like,
worshiping the title?
but we could do a whole that's another show. I'm gonna bring her back, okay? Mavis. Now I'm asking you live, and you don't have
Yeah,
to answer right now, but I think it would be so good if you co-hosted with me. What do you think about that? Like at least once a month.
maybe so.
Yeah, we can talk about that. But I just want to drop that out there to you now. All right, shoot the kid. I think that's one of what's
This Pamela
yeah,
Robinson.
wait.
Yep, that was a part of the heart of a leader as well. And I've known those wonderful sisters through many seasons, even when Jordan, even before my son was born, and baby clutch. So one, they might be a few hours away, but I know if I ever needed them or were in need, and they can pray and send them timbers up like you some of they. Lord, I don't know how y'all pray so long, but it is well. It's in y'all heart. It's in y'all soul. You know what I thought of too when we was talking about relationships, especially in this season. It's so easy to, because it's businesses and platforms and stuff. But when you connecting with these people, what is their spiritual fruit? And so sometimes it look good on the outside, because especially with women, I'm just gonna be honest, because men ain't really trying to find other men who do a ministry. I'm just I'm just being honest. And I talked to somebody who's my friend who's been in ministry in the past and different stuff like that. He was like, because women are looking for comfort, especially if they've been hurt. So sometimes what we look at is ministry and want to connect spiritually. And I've done it too. And God had to reposition my focus to make sure that I wasn't connected with people on the ministry level, that I wasn't doing it to try to fill gaps, for emotionally where I had been broken and hurt. Because some people will see your vulnerability when it comes to relationships and will use the ministry card, or that's what God told me, and you need to do this and you need to do that. And really, when you get to the root of it, it might not all be from that source. And so that's why you have to try the spirit, you have to be prayerful. And we can all get caught up in different situations when it comes to relationships, because nobody's perfect. And nobody's perfect. We don't always get it right. But when you see that you align with somebody when it comes to relationships, and it's not benefiting you, and it's hurting you, and it's just not, is off, then it's okay to reevaluate relationships, because one of the things that I'm finding out, especially when you're meeting so many people, especially during the pandemic, it was like a round robin. It was like a speed dating when it came to relationships. You meet so many people. That's right. Pastor Kenyatta say, try the spirit and be prayerful. You meet so many people, and we ain't have nothing to do but meet people. So you on a computer online. I'm just being honest. You ain't have nothing to do but meet people. You wasn't nobody going nowhere. They said it was leveling the playing fields. If that's what you want to call it, it was leveling. Some of us got rolled over trying to, because our heart is so kind and nice. You leveling the playing fields. Oh, okay. But God, and God see all, and it's funny because even when you're a child of the Most High, even when people try to manipulate relationships, God is already see before you and behind you, and so it doesn't catch him off guard. And even even recently, he was telling me to pick myself up and to not harp on mishaps when it came to relationships, even stuff, because the enemy is tricky. He'll bring up stuff from 20 years ago that somebody did, and you ain't halfway talked to that person, seen that person when it comes to relationships, and you can meet somebody else new that he bring into your life for whatever purpose, and you think about it, is like it click in your mind. I believe, and folks try to be so prophetic. I believe they got that same spirit. No, you hurt and you need to get yourself together. Go to the altar, lay out. And like lay out with the missionary. That's what you need to do. Go on back. Everything ain't prophetic. You ain't prophesied everything. Some stuff naturally is just it's like a gumbo pot, it's a mess. That's the relationship. We talk, and also too, one of the things that I spoke on about broken relationships, we always talk about other people. You think about that, it's always about what somebody else did, how they hurt us, how they some people, even on social media, I don't even want to see them post no more, because every other day it's about haters and users, and I all I can say is this: if you paid more attention to yourself and what God told you to do, you will be phenomenal. And when you get to that point, you might can do better with what you have been given. But you focus so much on the hurt and the pain. I just wanted to tell somebody one day, all my life have been hard. And that's just being honest. That's not being facetious or anything like that. It's kind of like Celia on The Color Purple. What she say? All my life I had to fight. But if I harped on the all of the stuff that happened, if the enemy really, because he's done it before, if he get me in a place where I focus on everybody, all the abuse, all, the torture, and sometimes when I tell people certain snippets of my story, they really don't, when somebody looking at you and it's kind of like, well, is it really real? It's real and some. I'm just telling the edited version. Some stuff I will never tell. But if I really allow myself to harp and focus on that, I wouldn't be able to heal internally. And that's the most important relationship. You're your biggest asset. Simone, you're your biggest asset.
Mavis, you're your biggest asset. I'm just over
That's right. And we're gonna plug in the shirt that I have on. I am an exceptional woman, and this was from a conference Simone spoke at. And I just thought that was a wonderful, a wonderful creed. So, and who was the lady who put the conference on? Do you
her name
remember?
is her name is Miss Michelle Thomas. Maybe she's actually from North Carolina, but she lives in Georgia. And I met her through I think I met her through one of the. I met her through. I did a. I spoke at a event with, and she was on Speak Life with me back in February. Her name is
Oh,
gosh, man, her name
that's
just escaped me. But I was on her platform. She was on the platform as well. And afterwards, she followed up with everybody, and then I reached out to her. And then she told me she was having a platform. I was like, okay, cool. And I've seen her do a lot of stuff. I know she's worked with Dr. Cheryl Wood, so that's how I ended up meeting her. But she's really good. Her name is, oh, this is somebody I think you should really meet too. The lady whose platform I was on, her name is uh Peters, Miss Suzanne Peters. She's from the islands, but she lives in Georgia now. But she's so cool. She's so like down to earth. Maybe I'm gonna see if I can connect you guys, because she has a, hers is woman to woman network. She does really good stuff. So that's how I was able to meet Miss Michelle Thomas. So she's been really really cool. Maybe it's you. It was so much as you said. I'm just sitting here listening like OMG. And maybe it's,
look at me.
I love, and I
Don't
love
get
it,
that,
guys,
don't get that Bible out, Lord. We'll never leave.
it's right.
You know what you need to do? You need to play that clip again. Go and play that exalted. She is a newly acclaimed gospel artist, Miss Simone Walden. So not only is she a prolific writer and speaker, she is a full-fledged gospel artist. So when y'all having these events, and they may not. What the word say about that? Was that Peter? Was that Paul? If they was in the body, out of the body, I do not know.
I don't
That's what a lot of people need to do too. I'm finding on these platforms. Stop trying to sift people to see if they saved enough. That ain't your place.
know. That's good, Mavis.
That's not. I was thinking the other day, actually before I came in back to my office, and somebody had did a loop. Who's our neighbor at the Blue House? And thank you. That's my butterfly said I'm exceptional. You are too. All of you are on the line, so thank y'all very much. And it said, I was just reminded it pays nothing to be kind. And sometimes when it comes to relationships, you don't know what kind of hurt people been through. They might not, they might not really have a family or a support system. And it don't mean you got to be their bestest friends, because do as much as God will allow. But it costs nothing to be kind. It costs nothing to listen without trying to get something or get over on somebody else. Because I'm just, the business right now is so much, it's moving so rapidly when it comes to meeting people. It's easily to be disguised. And so that's why we say just be prayerful. But if you know somebody you see that's new on the scene and different stuff like that, and you know they're not sure, then be like a big sister. You know, you ain't got to go into details, because God do not operate in mess either. So that's a whole nother thing. Be discerning of what you supposed to say, because some stuff we talk too much. Listen, saint. I told somebody the other day, I said, most of what I see, I don't say. Most of what, and my friend, when I put that hat on, yes, ma'am.
That's another. Most of what I see, I
I
don't
don't
see.
say. So just because I don't say nothing, look at my eye. Just because I don't say it, but if you're in the business world too, that's something. If you're getting into business and you're going into different circles, the more you, some conversations you just shouldn't be a part of. And you, when you walk into something and you don't know the backstory, you don't know what kind of relationships people had in the past, don't be so quick to jump into conversations that you know nothing about. Because some stuff I don't know anything about that. And I tell somebody in a minute. I might know. I probably do. I probably do. But you know what? I learned it's best to shift from conversations that don't concern me. And somebody was like, I've been in a nonprofit business for 14 years. I started as a wee tyke, knowing nothing. It was my first professional job, and that's one. And it was supposed to only be 6 months. It was supposed to be a temporary position for 6 months. And as I started out as a caseworker and through different seasons and just the favor and faithfulness of God, yes, just the favor and faithfulness of God, ended up being the executive director. But it was so much crap that I went through and still have to deal with in my position. But in the business relationships and other relationships, if I ran my mouth all the time, I would not have a job. And that's the thing that people don't explain or don't say. It's some people who can talk all the time and will end up causing you to lose opportunities because you are in association with people who have nothing to lose. Just think about it that way. People who are productive, people who have a lot to lose, people who have investments and are stable on different levels. Think about the conversations that they are having, how they interact, what they're doing. And think about the people who are always in crowd, always got something going on. It's always a struggle. Think about that. Those conversations are different. So, in your relationships, as you are being partners in business with people, and want to grow, because during the pandemic, a lot of people started their own businesses. Even if it's making t-shirts, selling hats. By the way, Pastor Kenyatta, this is one of her hats as well.
That's why you
Um,
like missionary Zora Neale Hurston tonight. You always slay.
she done called me Zora Neale tonight, missionary Zora. Um, so a lot of people have started their businesses, but one of the things that is not being taught is that how do you deal in relationships and business? Your feelings and business don't mix. I feel a lot of ways about a lot of things. But at the end of the day, is that productive? And then sometimes too, your emotions will trick you and cause you to overreact, say stuff that you don't mean. And then is that what God told you to do? Or are you reacting out of anger? Or are you being led by other people who have nothing to lose? And the enemy is tricky. So the enemy will jump and work through somebody else who you done connected with. And just like that, it could be 5 minutes. It can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you cut up at somebody engagement or on somebody platform, or they overhear you talking about somebody in an open space and they know each other. And just like that, the enemy is laughing because you took the bait. Don't take the bait, rat. Don't be a fat rat. Don't eat the cheese. Don't let the rats eat your harvest. Don't let the rats eat your harvest when it comes to relationships. And that's in business and in real time. But the thing now is we done met so many people over the internet, on social media during the pandemic, but now it's the opportunity to meet them in person. And it's a time to sift what is real and what is fake. So sometimes I know we've been going and going and going so much. Sometimes in relationships, it's time to just take a break before you re-engage, because it's like your thermometer, your meter, how you read in people. If you go all the time consistently, that's right. It's the Will Smith syndrome. The enemy is cunning. That's right. Using the tear up relationships and call embarrassment and falls. If I reacted even this week, I remember I woke up one morning and I had all kind of foolish emails, and I said, you know what, this ain't nothing but the enemy trying me. The enemy want me to quit certain positions that I've been working hard with, because I don't know about how many of y'all, but a lot of places that I go, I'm the only woman, only black woman, and so the enemy know that. Sometimes I'm the youngest person, and some people are intimidated by that when they find out, oh, she just 40, I'll be 42 next week.
Hey, party over here for Mavis'
Baby, we're gonna party.
birthday.
So some people have weaknesses within themselves when it comes to relationships, and you looking at it like, what did I do? You know, because I used to have that syndrome too, trying to fix people and trying to save people. It was an old song that the deacon used to sing called "Don't Save Them." She don't want to be saved. That was no deacon, but that's funny. It's called "Don't Save Them." She don't want to be saved.
Don't say what she want to be saying.
Y'all missionaries, don't look that up because y'all gonna fall out. Oh, plus y'all imaginary pearls. Seminary, the right missionary Seminary know the song. But that was in her unsaved days when she was not living for the most high. So
Come
let me
on
just
now.
correct that. She is she is saved and honorable during these times. Um, but you know, just like sometimes when you wake up, when it comes to relationship with business, the enemy is cunning and will try to get you disturbed. And it's a distraction. So even with relationships, some of them, if you constantly being disturbed by stuff that people keep doing and you don't have to be attached to them, why are you still in community with them? Why you can step back? You have that choice. God told me earlier this week, He said the only person you're responsible for right now is your son. Not your father, not your mother, not nobody else. And then when my son gets past a certain age, I'm not even responsible for him. At the end of the day, he belongs to God. I gave him to him when he was in my stomach. I remember talking and rubbing to him when at the end of the day, even when he get to a certain point, I'm not even going he's not even gonna be my responsibility anymore. So you trying to hold on to people so hard, and which I've done it before. I just see the analogy, and I would say that I was holding on to some bad situations and relationships so hard. It was like I was holding on a barbed wire in my hands, and I was bleeding, and I was gripping tighter, and I could see like just gripping tighter, and it was like it was barbed wire, and I was holding in my hands, and I was trying to save them, and I was killing myself.
Whoa. Maybe you have some powerful analogies like holding barbed wire and I'm
Barbed
killing
wire.
myself.
And killing myself. So if you feel like it's a friction all the time with certain relationships and certain people, and that's business too. This is not just for personal. These things are a business and personal. It's not, you know, this it's not just because it's so much that have happened that you meet all of these people. You're not obligated to nobody with business either. Let's get that correct. I cannot bear your fruit. So it's okay to support, it's okay to be in ministry, it's okay to speak on other people's platforms, but at the end of the day, I cannot produce your fruit. I can't, I can't disseminate whatever God told you, God told you. Whatever he told me, which he be keep whooping me over my head right now, I'm getting them quick lessons. Whatever he told she, but I ultimately you cannot produce somebody else's fruit. And so I think what has happened is the people who are of faith have mixed the ministry with the business, and it's not a real guidebook. Because think about it, before, the only people who really were in business that were in ministry were people who had been vetted and had been serving for years previously. You were not given any titles. You did not skip line. You toiled and you worked for those for your position. Just think about it when it came to ministry. You did not wake up one day and tell your pastor, "Oh, I want to be a missionary today. I think I earned this." Because some of them, that's what they doing. They going online, printing out them certificates. Or the people in the churches or in the congregations feel like the people gonna leave or not support or not do the outreach, so they just give them something to appease them, but they not ready. Some people I wouldn't let them minister to my dog because how they treat other people with their relationships and how they act. And that's what Mavis say. That ain't what nobody else say. This is not seminary, so we just gonna pretend. Some people, the attitude that they have and the spirit that they carry, I will not let them minister to my pet, much less my people. So if you know, I just think a lot of people just need to pray and be discerning. And no, nobody is perfect, but when it comes to relationships, you just have to be mindful because you owe nobody nothing. God told me he told me also, some people, I'm a very loyal person. And so when I give, some other people give like 50, 75%. But if I'm supporting you, I'm gonna give like 210, and that's my normal. So I'm like, is that my sister over there? She doing this? Okay, what she got going on? How can I support? So my level of support for the people that I love is so much different. And so when other people see that, like if Simone for you, I truly believe if Simone for you, baby, she'll fry fish, make cakes, everything. Like, and so you used to giving all of that all the time, but is that for every person that you're meeting? Are you supposed to be giving 200% of yourself to everybody, and to the point where you're losing yourself? Because when it comes to relationships, you shouldn't give so much. You shouldn't sacrifice yourself to save others. And so that's the part a lot of time we talk about relationships and people and how people act and stuff like that. But what about the relationship that you have with yourself? Are you being kind? Are you being loving? Are you considering how it's impacting your body when you give everything, even stuff that God did not tell you to do? Some stuff we doing when it comes to relationships, the Father didn't tell us to do that. We just trying to do, serve and go, instead of developing, seeding, and growing. So in the relationships, I just want to be what and who God called me to be for the different relationships. So when you pray, God to tell you, do this much, do that much, pull back, take a break, rest. And because you are the most important relationship that you have besides the Father. And sometimes when you're in relationship so much with people, that's the relationship that we drop the first. You you don't know what God told you. You halfway, you can't discern his voice from a donkey.
Come on, Mavis.
Cause you've been around all them folks with them foolish spirits, and they don't water down, they clogging your ear pipes. Stop, stop entertaining donkeys. You gonna be But it's good. I met a lot of people during the pandemic. Like, you are amazing. I have my faithful friends for years. Like, it's interesting because if I'm friends with you, even if we're miles away, it don't matter. If you calling, I'm coming. I'm gonna figure something out. If you need me, I'm gonna be there, and vice versa. Because we're not just friends, we family now. So even yes, ma'am, Mavis. Hello, Denise, with our sweet, handsome children. Um, it just take an inventory on your relationships, and that's business and personal. Because one thing I know, if your personal relationships are a mess and jacked up, then when you're dealing, yeah, stop entertaining the nonsense. When you're dealing and trying to build yourself professionally, it's hard. I was in an abusive relationship for almost 10 years. Um, Not all of it was bad, but it wasn't good neither. That's just the best way I can put it. It really ain't. But I can remember looking back at a picture, and I don't even look the same. It's like all my life, it looked like the life had been sucked out of me. I don't even look the same. Um, so even on the personal side, if your relationships are not where they need to be, or they're toxic and abusive, and that can come in many different forms, because people even abuse people when it comes to ministry and the church, and take advantage of people. Manipulation of religion can take place, people being overworked. And because I don't remember God saying that I have to be a slave to be saved. I don't remember God saying I had to be a slave to be saved. Where is that in the Bible? That you're supposed to work people to death in ministry for them to be good enough for the calling. How do that work? What do they say that at?
Girl, I ain't read those scriptures yet. That must
You
be.
ain't read that yet,
I
girl?
ain't read that yet.
Maybe that's the other kind of Bible. Maybe that's the Bible them slave owners had. Maybe
Yeah,
that's the
maybe.
Bible that they inserted and took it how they wanted to for their advantage. Maybe that was the Bible that they were beating our forefathers over the head and telling us. And maybe that's the same Bible. Maybe they didn't change it out, and it's just been passed down for years. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Man, you maybe is that right there? I mean, there's so much you said. I'm gonna go back and listen to this a second time. You don't gotta be a
That's
slave.
my keyboard.
Yeah, man. Like you don't have to be a slave to be
Be
saved.
saved. And at the end of the day, I would want not even the religion part of it. I just would want to do right by people and to serve the Most High. That's like at the end of the day, like when it's people who are struggling, who are battling mentally and emotionally, who who don't know if they want to be alive or not, and who are hurting, and our children who are don't know which way to go, and confused, and all this the other different stuff. And when you think about the real life situations, our men, some of them who don't have anybody to talk to because they always or try to make it feel like you got to be strong all the time. I got to be strong all the time, even when stuff happen to me and different stuff I'm dealing with. The women who feel like if they not, you know, um, in a certain arenas or with different, circles, that they not really valid as women. And that goes with men, these ministry circles as well. I'm getting back to it. Some of them have turned into cults, and that's not of the Lord. When your platform that you're supposed to reach people and supposed to be speaking has turned into where people are worshiping you, is that what God has called you to do? If they are worshiping your platform more than your purpose, is that of God?
I worship the person more than the purpose. Come on.
Is that of God? So I would just say to reevaluate your position. That's online. Some people that you connected to, just reevaluate the position. That's professionally and personally. And you shouldn't have to sacrifice yourself to be in circles. You shouldn't have to sacrifice yourself. The morals that you have, the values that you have, the purpose that you have been given. And it might be even some people looking, we take the assumption that people know what their purpose is. We haven't always been where we are. I've been a fool many times, so we're probably gonna be a fool again at some point. So just have grace with people when you meeting the women and men who are lost. Be kind. I'm not saying you gotta pick them up and ride them around and be their best friends and drink with them, because some of y'all still drink. I'll take a sip too, you know. But I'm saying, like, just remember you weren't always where you are. You weren't always together. You might not be together now. So that's the most important. Just be kind and try to see people through the eyes of Christ. Like, what does the Messiah see when he sees Simone or Janice or Kenyatta or Mavis? He say the old things are behind us. So when you were doing stuff you weren't supposed to do, making decisions even in real time, because some things in relationships that God have told us to let go of or move past or operate different. Some conversations, the only people that know about them are us and God. And I just think about, if we had chapters of our books, and I know I was on another brother show, Mr. Lawrence Smith. Check him out. He's on YouTube as well. And I was talking about overcoming abuse, moving forward. And it just really resonated with me because in him as well, I said, some of us, our chapters are hidden. The mistakes, the the screw ups that really are raw, the times when you was supposed to be in jail, but God kept you out, the times when you was in jail and you got out, and you got out, the times that you were supposed to be pregnant and you didn't, the times when other stuff happened, and all of those chapters for a lot of us have been hidden. And God covered us and graced us and hid it from the world. But what about the people who were not as fortunate and their worst chapters have been exposed to the world? And some of us, with our high and mighty selves, we done got a little degree, a certificate from the Royal Ministry of Mavis, of Magdom. You done got a you done got ordained somewhere by somebody that probably should have put you through a little bit longer. Eh, They some people giving them out too fast. They have not developed. But it's kind of like some people's stuff is exposed for the world, they worst chapters. And it's easy to pick that apart and to pick them apart and always, because it's easy to criticize other people than to deal with our shortcomings from ourselves. And so it just made me think when it comes to relationship with different people, especially I minister sometimes at a homeless shelter. And the thing that they like about Miss Mavis is that I'm just me. And I think they were really like surprised and shocked. I say it's just me. It is what it is. Whatever y'all got going on, y'all might still have it going on later, but guess what? I love you. And it's, and if I see you round the way somewhere else, if I got something, I help you. And the rest of it, I ain't even gonna worry about it. Whatever you got going on, that's on you. Whatever I got going on, that's on me. And just we gonna keep it kosher. But I didn't judge them. And I think when we're meeting people and in ministry and different things and going into the marketplace and all of this, how's your relationship with the people you supposed to be serving and reaching? Are you remembering where God has brought you from and some of the struggles that you have had and are having? Because some struggles you just don't let go of like that. And do you remember where you were and how He picked you up? What the old folks say, from the miry clay, pick you up from the miry clay. Do you remember where you were and how broken you were and how torn you were and how just raggedy? That's the best way to put it. Ain't no other word. How just raggedy. My life was raggedy. And like I tell him, I said, if God can save Mavis, oh my God. If God can save Mavis, God can save anybody. God can save, when I say, if He can save me, oh my gosh. And that's the look on my face. If He can save Mavis, oh my God. But that's just the favor. That's the miracle of it all. That He don't have any picks and chooses. Like I'm gonna love them and not love that group. And so when the relationship, I know we was supposed to be talking about business and bankability and that stuff like that. But what is the relationship with the people that you're supposed to be serving? And that comes from the relationship that you having with yourself. And are you being real? And are you being truthful? And are you being honest? And just like I know, the world is circle and not square. And just like them people, gotta say, okay, I'll show you, since you wanna be like that. And next thing you know, your little house will come crumbling down and you be crying and talking to missionary seminary and missionary Pam and Robin, cause you done been shamed, cause you were judging how you was talking about them people and talking about, I can't believe they're doing that. I can't believe. I will go on examples. Guys say, Mavis, get it together. I was talking one day to somebody. I said, just like the women, I had did a talk for Women's Day, and they thought it was gonna be a different kind of talk. I had my mentorship program about grown women. I had the stuff, all the points all lined out. And guys said, put that paper down. That ain't what you're here for. And I said, okay, okay, it's gonna be that kind of talk. And what I told them? I said, just like some of the women on the street who are selling their body to feed their children and to get high, I said, what difference is it from you laying up with a man who sleeping with other women, just so you can say you got a husband and just so you can say you got a man? What difference is
You
it?
say, Mavis.
For you to have nice bags and designer shoes to sleep your way to the top in business. How is it different? How is that different? So she prostituting herself on the street and you prostituting yourself in the boardroom.
Prostitute in the street and prostitute in the board, girl.
How's it different? Don't prostitute your position. I would say do what the Lord tell you to do. To not judge, to love others. And if you can't help them, then leave them alone. Don't try to use people to get ahead. And I've seen that even in business. If you really don't have a heart for it, if you're trying to basically get quick, get ahead quick or whatever, if your motives are not right, don't do that. because it will come back. Like I said, I see a lot, but I don't say much. And if you feel convicted by certain things that we have said, that's okay because I've been convicted before too. Pray. You can start fresh, new today, but don't whore your anointing because some people who are very talented, who are very gifted, who have been given a lot of things, they manipulate it to try to get ahead when it comes to relationships. So do what God have told you to do. And if that means sit down, sit down. And it's interesting because people see me moving and going now, but where I'm at right now, I've actually set myself down because that's what God have told me to do. And you don't want to be a point where God forced you to sit down when He done told you in this season it's time for you to sit down. So some of y'all, like in the Bible, it's one of the ones when the anointing came off of him because he was disobedient. And so some people are in the position, and from the outside, if you don't have a spiritual eye, you will not see it. If you don't have a spiritual eye and don't have the discernment and you have not been given, when you looking at them, you look at them like they just busy, busy, busy. They doing the most and all of that. But the anointing and the grace have come off of them. And that's not what you want. So the most important relationship is a relationship with the Father that has given us life, and everything else and everybody else should come after that. And I think we get confused, especially now we've been so caught up and being busy and doing stuff like that. How is your relationship with the Father? And are you listening to Him or are you listening to them? And it's so easy because you want to be connected, serve, grow. But sometimes you just need to sit down, and that's okay too. I would rather be planted with purpose than to be poisoned. I would rather be planted with purpose. My other analogy is not for the screen, but to be poisoned with. I'd rather be planted with purpose.
Guys, do y'all see why I call her the missionary Zora Neale? Her, she always has a way with words that's just so poetic and melodic. Like, I love it. Planted with purpose than to be poisoned.
And sometimes that might mean that you're not invited, that you're not asked to speak at certain places. Stop trying to force yourself into circles where they don't want you. Some people, some people are jealous. Some people can see the call on your life and see where the favor that's on your life, and so they don't know why they don't like you. You ain't never did nothing to them. You ain't no worse than the rest of them guzzle that they round, them guzzle that they round. You ain't no worse. All of us done had life challenges. Ain't that what they say in the real world? Challenges with life, development. I have had some seasons of development. That's the nice way to put it. You was a gutter rat. I was a gutter rat too, so that's fine with me. So it is what it is. Some of us have been gutter rats. That means when you digging in the gutter, finding folks and dealing with people you shouldn't have below your level. They have all these books and stuff that come out, these titles. The deliverance of a gutter rat. That's ought to be my I have been delivered. The
Oh,
deliverance of a
God,
gutter rat.
that's good.
I did not die on the poison. the deliverance,
That's
you know.
powerful.
But it's just the relationship with the Father is the most important. And stop trying to force relationships because everything happened in God's timing. And I was at a conference recently. I saw you in Baltimore, and we at the Harvard. We'll talk about that on our other show. That's the second part. We don't
Yeah.
want to give them too much tonight. Um, and the keynote speaker for the first day, I was so geeked up, but I can remember he came to speak. It might have been like 3 or 4 years ago to where I'm at. And I was like, wow, he's so close to my building. I want to tell him about what we have going on and different stuff like that. But I remember I really couldn't get close to him then because it was kind of like, you know, security. And, it wasn't really open where you really was talking because it was kind of like, you know, um, gated off by other people. And God told me, then you weren't ready to meet him. You weren't, you was in a different season during that time. And that was not the time for you to meet him. And so some of us are trying to be put into positions and we're not prepared. So my prayer is that don't let me go anywhere, Lord, that I'm not prepared for my position. What does the word say that he will not put me to shame? That's my prayer, Lord. Even if I mess up, even if I make some bad decisions, even if I get off track, because especially when I was dealing with the stuff personally that was a mess, God truly covered me and kept my life. But what I'm doing now, speaking, writing books, and all this has happened in like a year and a half. I've had 6 best-selling books in like a year. So when people see me now, some of them they don't know the trajectory of how it happened. I started my businesses, all of this in the development. This happened in less like 2 years or less. The books and all of that, the speaking, the We Win Ministries, the consultant, all of that happened like in a year's time. It was rapid, but before when I was in that relationship and all that burden and all that other stuff, first of all, my mind was so clouded and in distress. I was no good for, I was barely hanging on, but also I was not ready. I was not prepared to carry and to be elevated. So some people want positions and want relationships with certain people and want to go before certain platforms, but are you ready? You The focus is still coming back to the number one person in the most important relationship beside the Father and the Creator is you. What is your relationship with yourself, and how are you preparing yourself for for your next? Are you ready? A lot of people talking about haters and people not supporting them and different stuff like that. And then when I see them, I'll be like, they ain't ready. They ain't ready. I'm like, but the sad thing with certain people in some relationships, some people will just use a person and not prepare them. So they gonna take your resources, connect with your group of people and your friends, so y'all supporting them. But are they preparing you for anything? Or are they just taking so much from you and you just so eager to be in a circle of greatness? Some people just want greatness so bad that they'll sacrifice themselves because they just want to be around certain people and names. And you know I'm not really in the ministry circle, so I don't know what they be doing. I don't, it was so interesting. I think it was a little bit over a year ago. I preached my first sermon, and the same weekend I spoke with two powerhouses in the gospel. And because me, I don't keep up with that. So I'm just like, I'm speaking. Hey, go forth, woman of God. But I really didn't know until somebody was like, hey, you speaking. I was like, we speaking. It is what it is. But some people would have allowed that to intimidate them or to make them feel like they had to change who they were and their approach. But if God have put you somewhere, you don't have to change who you are. And if somebody try to make you feel like when it's in a relationship that you have to change you, not saying to sharpen up or anything like that, but you have to be another person to be amongst them, then that's not the circle you need to be in. It's only one guy. I don't need to. I bow before no man. I bow before no man. And so one lady, she was talking to me the other day, and she said, maybe the difference between you is that um confidence. But that's something that God have to help me with and growing and learning. But that come back to the relationship I have with myself. And so a lot of time, just stay off this social media, talk about your problems. Everybody got problems. My whole life, I believe, is filled with a scroll. You know how they say when he gonna open the scroll up of life and read your life off, the Lord probably gonna say, Lord, my daughter. Because my life, just to be honest, but I don't focus on it. Because if I harped on it, I wouldn't move forward. But the relationship that you have with yourself, I know we talking about bankering and brokering with other people. But if you jacked up, if you a mess all the time, if you always complaining, if nothing is good in life, if you can't find nothing right about nobody, that's an internal struggle. Because everybody is not no hater. People who making real money and got real goals don't care. Tell it, Seminade. They don't care. They trying to be rich. They trying to be wealthy and secure.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like people who really happy ain't studying what you talking about. They that what they got to do with them? I know I told somebody one day, and it was an older person, but I didn't care. They was trying to talk and gossip and I have a lot on me as far as responsibility and duties, and I don't have no. I got about 3, 4 jobs, just to be honest. About six jobs and different stuff like that, just to be honest. I told them I really don't care. I Because my mind was about to snap and I was gonna turn into Meg. I wasn't gonna be Mavis no more. I was gonna turn into Meg. And Meg was finna. I said, you know what? I really don't care what's going on with them. They ain't got nothing to do with me. And it shouldn't have nothing to do with you. And they looked at me so crazy. I don't care. That's the choice they choose to make with their life. It have nothing to do with me. So the conversation that you having with other people and you allowing people to come into your atmosphere and to just dump garbage in your atmosphere and then they leave. Like, some people that you're friends with and dealing with, they always are negative. They always talking about other people, what other people done did to them, how life is hard. My whole life been hard. This is, you want to talk about hard times, hard life? And so somebody was talking to me, I said, my whole life been hard. So what? So my replies don't be what they expect. But I fought for my peace. I fought to have my right mind. That's something I had to fight because I remember when I prayed to God to take my mind because I was in so much pain. I said, since you won't let me die, take my mind. I can remember praying that prayer. And so for him not to allow that to happen, and for me to still have my mind and be around my right mind when other people have lost their minds in their life, who have went through less than I have, to allow somebody to dump on me, to dump garbage on me in my life emotionally and spiritually and mentally, is less than what God has promised me. God promised me to have a long and prosperous life. Go on, missionary.
I would say amen.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Mavis, this was, now I understand fully. Oh, I got a better understanding now of why he said reach out to her and do this. Like, of course, anytime I do speak, I don't, it's not planned, it's not rehearsed. You know, some people ask for questions. Me and you didn't do that because it was like whatever it is that was placed on your mind to share, you shared it. And I'm so grateful. Thank you done took us through laughing, it be a funny to a very sobering moment, to be introspective and not always be extrospective. And so I'm like really grateful. Like I like you came down on a very sobering moment because you look at people and you see how wonderful and great they are, and you see, um, it's a blessing when you get to see people in their, um, not just when they're having good days, but you get to see them in their broken days, and you get to see them, in their sad days, and that's one reason why I have appreciated you so much. Remember when it was around like October, November, I kept saying the Lord said, I need to come and see you. I need to come and meet you. And I was like, okay, I'm coming. So when I came in December, it was really to see you. And I didn't understand. I had no idea how my life would transition in 2022. And had I not seen you, just because God said see you, I didn't come down there to try to get a connection with the Pine Belt and all the people that you was connect. I came to see you, to cultivate a relationship with you. And had I not done that, when all kinds of when I, people said the bottom fell out, when the bottom of 2022 came, had I not cultivated that with you, I would not have had you as somebody that I could have leaned on. And so to be able to know somebody who has went through that, and you share how, we don't forget where we come from, how you was really, and I always say this, people talk about safe space, but you can be in the most secure, locked and key military grade place, but if the person in there is not safe, it's no longer a safe space. And so you became a safe space for me to cry and be, oh, just sad and shade is what I got going on. And you just FaceTime me and then I tear up, or I see you and I just tear up. It's like, wow, you really do have people that you put in place in position. And like you said, you got to be prepared for that. Like I wasn't always prepared to be open and vulnerable with people because I've done it in times past and it came back on me. But when he said, I want you to go to Mississippi to see her, see you, that's what I did. That's why I told you it wasn't about us doing no book signing. It wasn't, it was about coming to see. And of course, from a business perspective, somebody's thinking, if you're going all the way to Mississippi, you should put together something. But that was not what he said. He said,
Because
go.
somebody so tried to come together, it didn't work.
Yeah. And it was like, that's not what he said. And I'm so thankful because when we build those solid relationships for real, for good, everything else will come. Like I know there'll be a time will come, and me, you, and Janice talked about a time will come and we'll do something in Mississippi. There'll be a time come when y'all will come up here and we'll do something in Maryland. But it was, let me fortify and bring y'all together as women, and then I can continue to grow you guys. So everything, guys, everything she said tonight, I'm a recipient of that. And of course, I don't have a long standing relationship with Mavis as far as time like some of you have, but I believe God will place people in your life at the right time. And so I'm just thankful and grateful that you came on tonight. I'm grateful. This is part one, guys, because we definitely got to do more parts to this. But Mavis, I am honored that you said yes. I'm honored that you partook in the heart of a leader. You was very instrumental of getting most of the women from Mississippi to be on board. I'm honored that anytime you share out something that I'm doing, because you really are one of those women who you support people. You really do. You push, you share, you let people know, and I'm so grateful. And so thank you tonight for being a part and just sharing, sharing your truth and sharing some really, really good things that um will take us from one level to the next level, because it was some powerful stuff that you said. And I'm really grateful and thankful. Like, I'm thankful. So thank you so much.
Oh, I'm so moved. If I wasn't tired, I'd cry. I said I got my sixth job. If I wasn't tired, I'd cry. I'm thankful and I'm honored. To see people how God see people is different. And so, like you said before, some people are like, well, they ain't got 50,000 followers and different stuff like that. But it only takes one connection to change the total trajectory of your life. Think about that. It only takes one meeting, one speech, one proposal, one connecting thread to put you in a different category, to change your whole entire life, to change your whole family, to change generations. So, for those who are working towards a plan, being productive, and to do what the master has told you to do, don't count it out. Continue to work. It's not what it looked like, and the best is yet to come.
And the best is yet to come. Maybe I'll say this last thing and we'll go ahead on the wrap up. You know, a lot of times when people see you through the eyes of Christ, they get to see where you're and while they're seeing where you're going, as God is preparing you for where you're going, because we know ourselves and we know the things that we're working on, sometimes people try to push you faster than where your timetable with God. There's so many people, Mavis, who said to me, I can't wait till a lot of people know your name, or all kinds of things, right? If I would have took the what they consider the fast
The,
track, because I've been in
the
ministry for
cheese,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, like
cheese.
yeah, like I really been in ministry probably 10 years now, but if I would have took the fast track, like I've been in high level coaching programs, been around some very influential people, have access to influential people. I know what it takes to get out there, but I also know the character of Simone, and I want to make sure that when multiple thousands and millions of people know my name, that it will be something that will be a blessing to them and not something that will taint people and turn my heart away from my real purpose, which is God. And so, even when you see people and you think they should be further, you connecting because you thought that they should have more than whatever. And maybe it's the crazy thing is that a lot of times people they look at numbers, and the numbers I love is the numbers in my bank account. That's the best ones I really love, and the souls that I'm winning, right? But they really don't know who is watching and who you connected to. Because some people watch and never say nothing, right? Some people watch my social media and never say anything, and it's not until I'm no longer up there they like, hey, like I tried, you know what I'm saying? Or I've had some really good connections. So don't ever get caught up, and that's why you said like see people in the eyes of the Lord. Don't get caught up in judging by appearance and not judging by God's standard, because you miss a lot of connections, you miss a lot of people. Maybe I know the Lord told me one time, he was like, something, I give you, you have the voice, you have the ear of influential people. Maybe if I wanted to like run names down so people can say, oh, you were that, I could have run names down of people who I've shared things with. God will really give me something or give me access to them to share a word of wisdom or say, I think this is what you should do. And they actually do it, and it affects thousands of people. It
Mhm.
affects their whole ministry. It affects what they're governing. And it's like you sit back and think, wow, God, like you use me. And so a lot of times it's not always a person that's in the forefront that's out there with everybody, but he uses those people to be arm lifters to help them go forward. And so I'm just thankful that you have been one of those ones who have lifted my arms. And I pray that I have been that for you and that I will continue to be that even the more for you in the days to come, because you have been a great help. You've been a great resource. You have been a great sister to me. You make me laugh. You make me cry. And the good thing I love about you is that I know when Mavis is talking, and then I know when Holy Spirit is talking through you. And so I don't take for granted for that. Sometimes people miss the blessing because they don't respect the person that is coming from. And so I respect all that God has placed in you. I honor all that God has placed in you. And I'm just so thankful and grateful tonight that we get to share this hour and 31 minutes. And when you just, I'm saying, when it just flows like that, you don't even realize that you're going as long as you're going, until you look up and like, wow. And so I'm very, very thankful tonight. So thank you for coming on. Please let everybody know what you have going on, guys. Listen, this is not the first time, second, third, fourth time you're gonna see me and Mavis say Creagh. I love her middle name. This is not the last time you'll see us here by the grace of God. So we'll be coming back more. I know there's a part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to this. But Mavis, please let people know what you got going on, where they can find you. Now I've already put her email, her website, but maybe just tell us a little bit on the business side and how you can how they can support you and how you can partner with them with what you have going on.
Yes. Check out my website. I do have multiple books that you can order offline. Also, I am speaking in real time. I focus on disaster recovery, equity, and equality with resources. Also, I am a mental health proponent. I'm a part of NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. If you do need assistance or need someone to talk to, please reach out and know that you are not alone, most importantly. So just check me out. I'm online, social media, maybe say career. I just believe the proof is in the pudding. And that's the best way I can put it. We're going to end on a high note. If I could sing, but God didn't give me that gift because He knew I would probably misuse the gift. And how many people are misusing the gifts that they have been given? But the Lord is kind, like you always say, Seminary. The Lord is kind. I'm just thankful because my life really could have ended and been another way. So I am humble and I don't take it for granted. Anytime I, stand before someone, and speak to them because I know things truly could have gone another way. So just it's a blessing, and I'm very honored and thankful.
Wow. Love it. I love it. Love it. Guys, listen, thank you guys so much for being a part. Listen, Mavis is a part of the inaugural. Let me share this link really quick. And then Mavis, we're gonna go ahead on and wrap this thing up tonight. So guys, listen in the comments. Mavis is a part of the inaugural edition of Speak Life magazine that I launched in April. And so let me boom, 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 like boom, boom, boom. So these are some of the beautiful women. Janice is up here, Pam, Robin's up here. So this is what we did together. Maryland meets Mississippi, the heart of a leader, effective DNA of leadership. And so if you're looking for women to speak about leadership, definitely reach out to these beautiful, beautiful ladies. Yeah, Miss Constance, Miss Beverly, Miss Tammy. And then, of course, you got the one and only Miss Mavis A. Creagh. You have Dr. Lavetta, Robin, and you got Janice over here doing it. You have Pamela and Janelle. And so you can go and read all of that in the magazine from the link I just put there. Definitely check that out. For those of you who want to stay connected with me, you can go to my email list. You can put bit.ly/joined Seminary list. You can put that. I put it in the link. You can join the list and stay connected. Mavis, I'm not sure if you're gonna be if the same weekend I'm having My meetup is called C4, Celebrate, Conversate, Create, and Collaborate. We just had our last one in May. It was so amazing. So if you guys are in the area, you want to travel in, you go to that link, get all the information about it. But it's a space where women come together, talk about business, ministry, mistakes, your boundaries, and your mindset and life principles. So you can check that out and read all about that. And then if you just want to text the number 202-410-4202 to my email list to get on, please do that so you can stay connected with us. Maybe if you know any powerful, beautiful women who could be a part, or men can be a part of um Speak Life, let me know. We definitely looking for, more amazing people. If you want to be a sponsor to the show with your business, your service, your project, or just yourself, you can email me and let me know. And so this has been amazing, Mavis, because you are amazing. And so I look forward to us coming back together again soon. So Mavis, I'm gonna let you close us out. And guys, until the next time, go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Look at all the previous Speak Lives. Go look at this with Mavis. Share this on your on your YouTube, on your Facebook, social media. Share it to your email list. Text a link to 4 or 5 people, that say, hey, this might be a blessing to you. And just let them know. And so thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I absolutely love you guys, the love of Christ. And so Mavis, I turn it over to you to close us out for tonight.
Thank you very much. Remember, you are your most important asset, and without you, there is no one. So, no matter where you are in life, you can always pick yourself up, and through the grace of the Father, you are loved. You are more than you could ever imagine, and you deserve the best of life. Just remember that you deserve the best of life in relationships and business. And so thank you very much for having me on tonight, and have a blessed evening.
Bye, guys. Good night.